after I've got all of my elements selected, I kind of choose like a grayish color, kind of the color that a pencil
kind of
would
charcoal
be.
pencil color. Yeah.
Go to my brush. See, you see this little, you can't draw on this thing? It's because I have my wrong layer selected. Gotta make sure top layer selected. Now I can draw. And I'm going to just trace around all of our lines just like we have been with our flowers. And this basically creates the same effect, which is that it makes it look like the whole thing was created with a pencil. And everywhere where there's shadow, I basically just take my pencil and go over that to give it the look of that I added that shadow with my pencil. And then I will do the same thing. Make that a little bit lighter in the highlighted area. Just like that. And obviously the more time you spend on that, I mean the rustic look, the rustic cake that I showed, I mean I had a lot of like little lines and definition and stuff. And then after I have all of my colors and everything chosen, and all of my details added in, I'll go to like a black, go back to my brush, and I will go to my brush presets, pump up my size a little bit, and I will say that's when I add in my notes. So this is a 10-inch, 8-inch, 6-inch. This is sugar, succulents. This is gum paste, flowers. These are white leaves. And then I might say serves 80 at the bottom, because these are all notes to the bride. And you can make these lighter or darker or whatever you prefer. But I kind of like the look of the sketch, the little notes and things on a sketch. I think that kind of adds to the cuteness of it.
Oh, look at how amazing that is. Look at this. It's so cool. It is just amazing. Okay, here's another picture of a cake that you've done with this same program. And I mean, it really does look like you have spent days and days working on this, where, you took a couple, you took about an hour, maybe two, to really get it to look good. But if you spend an hour or two making something this amazing, they're not going to argue. They're not going to, they're going to pull out that checkbook and write that check and be extremely happy to do so, because this right here is art piece and worth that price anyway.
And I don't do the sketch unless they put a deposit down. I say that during our consultation, if they like the taste of the cake and they like the cakes that are on my website, I suggest they put down a deposit, and then I will work up a sketch for them. So you're never wasting your time making these hour-long sketches to convince them to put a deposit down. You should never do that, because they could just take your sketch and bring it to somebody else.
And that is a big deal.
It is. This is your tool to get them to, I mean, you can show them other sketches. You could do some practice sketches and say, if you put your deposit down, I'll make you one of these sketches, and bust out a portfolio and show them, and they'll go, wow, that's what I'm getting, So it's just another tool to convince them to put down that deposit, because once they put down a deposit, they usually don't not go with you. you know?
Exactly.
So then the last thing I wanted to show was for you guys. I know we're running out of time, but this will just be really quick, I promise.
Oh, that's fine.
If you're in your iPad and you want to draw on your iPad, let's say, you can open up one of the sketches that is in your files. It says I think it says pre-made something, but basically it's either a JPEG, a .jpg, or a .pdf. You can open those in your iPad, but what I do is I email the files to myself from my computer. So usually all my files are on my computer. I'll say, oh, I want to work on this square cake. I select it, email it to myself, and then open the email on my phone and then download the image to my phone or to my iPad or whatever. I don't know if there's other easier ways to get images from your computer to your iPad. I don't know what they are. So that's my little hack way of getting them on there.
There you go.
So you go into your program. I know on your iPad you can use Photoshop, or you can use something called Sketchbook Pro, which is also kind of just a drawing program. navigate to the file, open, image or whatever, and open up the picture that you saved to your iPad, and it will look like this. This is a pre-made template. I have all of the different ones that are in square and round in 1, 2, 3, 4 tiers, and then I also have one that has a wider double barrel tier in the center because that's a pretty popular design as well. So the bad part about this is that you can't move around these tiers, but I mean, that's the majority of the designs that you're ever going to make is a 1, 2, 3, 4 tier. Usually it's nothing aside from that. And then the only thing that you have on your iPad to choose from is usually colors. So you have your brush preset that you can make either bigger or smaller on your iPad. It'll say, you can choose how big you want it to be. And it'll have a color picker, which looks very similar to this. And you can choose whatever color you want to draw on here. And you can use your finger, or you can use a stylus, which is basically a pen for your iPad, to draw directly onto your templates like this.
So if you guys aren't, wanting to do the Photoshop and you're just totally overwhelmed, it's so confusing.
Yes.
There is a simpler version.
Yes, exactly.
So, but the Photoshop version, if you can work that out, is so much better.
You have more options.
Yeah, exactly. So don't get intimidated by this whole Photoshop version because, there are options for you. And even if you don't even use an iPad or a tablet or anything like that to do the work over the templates, you can still even just print these out and draw on them, print it out. So yeah, these templates though are really great for getting a good base shape of what you want, and then go from there.
Right.
So
that's basically it.
Look at how cute that is.
And you can, let's say we want to make a big bow in this. Remember, when you're creating big objects, like an actual thing, you want to create the flat background. This is called the underpainting. And then you want to either do a lighter or darker version of that color to put in the details. So don't try to draw your lines first and then fill in.
Yeah.
Draw your background first.
And then
add in your details over that.
Very cool. Just like you would if you were painting.
Exactly.
So.
People who have artistic background, this will be very intuitive for them.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have a specific question?
There were a couple of people that asked, how do you handle a client who brings a picture and wants the exact cake?
That happens all the time. I don't really give them an option. There are certain things that I just won't do, and it's up to you. You might be comfortable with copying a design. You might contact the designer and say, hey, I have a client who wants me to copy your design. Is it okay? Sometimes they'll say yes, sometimes you won't. Sometimes people don't care about that. I just really do. And I mean, what's the point in being a cake artist if I can't be creative? So I have like a little couple sentences that I always say, which is, this is a great design. I love the style and the elements in this cake. We can do something really similar that will be even better than this, that really speaks to you as an individual person. And they don't usually say anything after that. So I haven't really said that we're going to copy it. I say that we're going to change it up, and then that's when the sketch comes into play as well. You want something that's going to look better than the cake that they just showed you. So suggest some little changes that you can do. Maybe change up the textures, like if there's a ruffle texture all around the bottom and you don't want to like copy that, say, I know there's this new technique that instead of ruffles, they take flower petals and they make them real thin and put them all over the cake. So it looks like ruffles, but it's not the same thing. It's your own spin but it provides the same kind of look and feel. And they go, oh, that's really cool. I've never heard of that. It's like, because you don't want to do ruffles. Ruffles are played out. Everybody does raffles.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, and this, I just can't say it enough, you guys. I really, really, really think that this is going to be a huge thing for cake decorators to be able to get over that, you know, someone wants to pay $200 for a $1,000 cake and they don't see the benefit, they don't see the vision that I see in this cake, and they don't understand, you know. So yeah. Okay, so we've got to get on to the very ending part, which is the giveaway. Yay, yes, giveaway. All right.
Stop messing with this. That doesn't even matter.
And I wanted to show you guys one more because I had found it, which this one, again, same program with the, you know, billowing effect. Isn't that so cool looking? I love it. I love it. Okay. So anyway,
well, that was fun. It went a lot better than I was expecting.
It did go really well. And again, for those of you that came in late or feel like this was just so overwhelming, oh my gosh, where do I even begin? You guys can watch this again and again and again and again. You can just keep rewatching it till you figure everything out. Liz has walked you through everything. There's no reason why you guys can't do this. You know, so
and when you get frustrated, just turn it off, walk away, come back another day. But it does take practice. You don't expect to learn this in one day. Just focus on one thing. Like, just sit down and say, I'm going to just mess around with the brush. I'm just going to mess around with different sizes, choosing different colors, getting a feel for the tablet and drawing on the screen. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't say with your first time getting the templates and a tablet, you're going to sit down and draw a masterpiece. You're just going to let yourself down. So just start off with simple things. Say, I just want to figure out how to use layers. I just want to figure out how to cut out a flippin' flower and not mess up, like that. I made it look really easy, but I mean, I just remember back when I was in school, that little selection tool, you'll accidentally click twice and then it will close and you only selected half the flower and you got to start all over again. I mean, that can be frustrating. So if you have it in your mind that you're going to select the flower, draw on it, do all these things to it, it's like just see how far you get with the flower part.
Yeah. That's really good advice too, because you do want to start out a little bit smaller, unless you have experience in Photoshop.
Yes.
And in that case, this is just the answer that you've been looking for, which is is the answer that I've been looking for so long. I am so excited to have this out here, and I thank you for creating that thing in what's it called, that one program.
Oh yeah, Illustrator.
Yeah, Illustrator. There you go, in Illustrator.
And I mean, the people who know me, they just they understand that it feels really good when I can share things with people that is useful. And I was just going to give this away for free, but my husband was like, really? Like, you're not going to charge anything for this thing that I spent like a month making for you? Like, oh, all right, well, I guess I'll sell it.
And being able to create something as gorgeous as these sketches,
I
mean, you will make that money back 10 times on the first sketch.
On the first one, yeah.
So, I mean, it's so worth it. I mean, that's going out to dinner one time,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
and I tried to make it so that it wasn't such a big price that somebody who is on the verge of trying to figure out if they're going to experiment with this, that's the thing that held them back, is the price. I mean, how many things have we wanted to try, but you're just like, well, it's so expensive. What if I suck at it and it just wasted all this money, So just do it. Just messing around with it. Don't be afraid. And then at the end of the day, you've wasted nothing. It doesn't cost you anything. You're not wasting paper. You can undo as many times as you want and have the freedom to be as experimental as you want. Whereas if you're on a paper, you print it out, it's a little scary. Because if you mess it up, you've just messed up your whole picture. But with digital, you can move around your layers, delete flowers that you didn't like, add in new things, try out different layouts, copy and paste the entire cake, take out the bow, add in a flower, show them 3 different versions of the same cake. Really freaking blow them away,
Seriously awesome. Yeah.
Even if you can't use it for a little while, you got to still get Photoshop. I mean, just get it right now, download it. You don't have to do anything to it. Just keep it and then you'll be ready for it when you're ready. You had your coffee, you sit down, you got a few hours, you'll have it already.
Exactly. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Liz, for coming and showing this to us. You guys, seriously, this is going to be awesome. You guys,
I can't wait to see pictures.
I know, me too.
You guys should post them to either CakeFu or to my Facebook page. I would love to see them. Oh my gosh, that would be so exciting.
I know. Wouldn't it be fun? It's funny how geeky we get about stuff like this.
I know.
Sure, we want to see.
Nothing feels better than being like, I showed them how to do that. Oh, look, I'm so proud.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Liz, for coming.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
We'll see you guys all another day.
Have a good day.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.